Now, oh, one thing about Marsh's deck that I did not notice is he does have a Caracas with Knight of the Reliquary, so that is like a good way to battle Reanimator.
All right, so here we are. For those of you just joining us, I'm Gavin Verhey. I'm here with Jake Van Lunen. On your right side, Marsh Usary, playing a green-white, straight green-white deck in Legacy. He's got some hateful cards. Got a Scatic Teague in there. It's just a lot of beatdown. Mirror Crusader, Knight of the Reliquary, Stoneforge Mystic package. We've seen the Stoneforge Mystic Mirror Crusader thing tear at matches in Extended. Now in Legacy, will it have the same legs? Who knows? On the other hand, Sam Stoddard on your left playing Reanimator, and that's pretty exciting. It's like I guess I said a moment ago, he said that when he added Jin-Gitaxias to the deck, it changed his entire view. He's like, this card makes the deck insane. The new insane 10-cost guy, the Praetor, Blue Praetor from New Phyrexia, is making a big splash. We'll see how it does in this matchup.
Oh yeah, I mean, one thing that's really interesting about Sam's deck list, he has 8 cards from New Phyrexia. I mean, that just shows you how powerful this new set is. People playing an Eternal format like Legacy will include 8 cards from the latest set in their deck. He has 3 copies of Jin-Gitaxias, Core Augur, a copy of Elish Norn, the Grand Cenobite.
It's a good one.
And a play set of Mental Missteps.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking earlier about how Elish Norn is good in the Dredge deck because you could Dread return it, and here it's probably still really good too.
There are a lot of decks that just like, imagine playing against Goblins and just dropping an Elish Norn. Like they just really can't do anything. Even their Gem Palm Incinerators are not going to be dealing enough damage to deal with the Grand Cenobite.
Absolutely.
Especially when all of their creatures have -2, -2, which basically means they don't have any cards.
Yeah, it should be pretty excited to see how this goes. Looking at Sam's sideboard, he's got a couple really interesting cards. Platinum Empyreon is one. Reanimate that guy.
I like Platinum Empyreon.
One It That Betrays.
It That Betrays?
It's the 11-cost Eldrazi with Annihilator 2, and whenever they sacrifice a permanent, you get it. Pretty interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. So Sam Stoddard's off to the races. Turn 1 Careful Study.
Yeah.
Does Marsh have the Mental Misstep?
I don't know.
Nope.
Marsh lets it resolve.
Uh-oh. We're going to have to get those graveyards moved. At least, you picked up a card reading it. It's definitely Jin-Gitaxias.
It's definitely Jin-Gitaxias.
Hey, Rashad, can we get the graveyards moved in so we can see them?
Yeah. But tell him to move it in from the blue line.
That is certainly Jin-Gitaxias. If Sam Stoddard's turn 2 reanimation spell, that's lights out. For those who don't know what Jin-Gitaxias does, it says at the end of your turn, you draw 7 cards. Pretty good. So you draw 7 the turn you reanimate it. And your opponent's hand size is 0. So at the end of your opponent's turn, they discard down to nothing. So you draw 7, your opponent gets one last shot at all of their cards before they go to 0 cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's basically the bombiest creature I've ever seen in my entire life.
So he discarded 2 Jin-Gitaxias.
Now, interesting note, if you have a Reliquary Tower in play, Jin-Gitaxias does not make you discard your hand.
Look at this, Marsh Usary, Caracas. That's the card he wants in this matchup.
It is exactly the card he wants in this matchup.
And Sam discarded 2 legendary creatures. Not so good. He's not even going to get to draw 7 cards as long as that's untapped. So, but Sam has an Entomb, and if he entombs for a creature and has a Reanimate this turn, he could bring it back. So if he gets Terastodon, he could blow up that Caracas.
Yep. Terastodon's a good choice. Inkwell Leviathan is also a very good choice here.
Inkwell Leviathan,
and
definitely very
even
good.
Iona, you can name
Well,
name white with oh, you're right, it just gets bounced with.
Yeah, you can't
Caracas.
get any of your legends.
No.
So Terastodon, Sphinx of the Steel Wind, Inkwell Leviathan are your reasonable targets here. And I think Terastodon, just killing that Caracas is pretty good. Is Terastodon up to 3, or do you have to kill 3? Would he have to lose both of his Underground Seas?
You have to kill 3.
You have to kill 3 things?
Yeah.
I probably don't want Terastodon then if you have to lose your entire board too. Although I guess you end up with a Terastodon and 2/3/3, so that actually doesn't sound that bad at all.
Yeah, I mean, that's not the end of the world.
That sounds kind of sweet, actually.
I'll take 15 points of power.
There is the Bigu, the Nasty Terasty. Play it down, blow up a bunch of stuff. We'll see if he has the Reanimate this turn. If he entombed main phase, I'm guessing he has it. Oh, there it is. So Sam Stoddar's going to pay 9, but for the high price of 9 life, that Terrastodon's going to enter the battlefield. Marsh picks it up to double check what's about to happen. Or is Terrastodon 6 or is it 8? Or
8.
Sorry, 8 or 9?
8.
It's 8. Okay, so for the low
6 GG.
cost of 8 life, he wow.
Yeah, he gets to put 15 points of power on the board and give his opponent 3 points of power, and he also gets to obliterate.
Yep, and there we are. Kill, kill, kill. I'll take 12 points. You can have 3. And he taps it for a white mana, so he could, maybe if he has swords in his hand, he could swords the Terrastodon, and that would be huge.
That would be huge.
And
Sam could always have a mental misstep in hand, though.
Yes, Sam Stoddard's Reanimator deck does get 4 mental missteps. Another new addition from New Phyrexia. Doing good work.
All right, so Sam's going to pop back up to 21 life.
So it sounds like Terrastodon is actually up to 3, but Sam still wanted the
extra 3 threes.
Yeah.
Now, Marsh did have the swords for the Terrastodon.
Okay.
That's pretty huge.
So I'd actually say this board state begins to favor Marsh here. Because,
oh, definitely. Marsh has tons more cards in his hand.
Right, he's got tons more cards. Sam exhausted all of his resources. Reanimator decks don't play that many lands for a 10. He owns 18 lands in his entire deck. He's lost 2 of them already. Or maybe it's at 24, 6, 20. Yeah, 20. No, just 18 lands in his entire deck. Yeah. So, and no Chromoxes or anything like that. So, Sam Stoddard is not in a great position right now. Now, if he has land reanimate,
then he's in a great position.
then he's obviously in an awesome spot. But if he doesn't have that opening, or 2 lands and an animate dead or something, it could be a rough position. Now, granted, he does have some time, so he can find those cards. The board was just reset, but
again, he only set Marsh back by 1 turn. Now, let's see how Sam drew another land. That's good for him. Let's see if he's going to bash with these 3/3s.
And we see a brainstorm in Sam's hand too, so we can find some more. All right, so trades up 1. So the end result of a Terrastodon, 1/3/3 on Sam Stoddard's board.
Plus a Stone Rain, plus 2 Stone Rains on himself.
and I don't know.
And a swords out of his opponent's hand.
And I guess he gained a life too, or a life or 2 because
Terrastodon costs
8 and it's a 9/9.
It's a 9/9, yeah.
That is a big creature.
He's an Uffalump. A Babar.
Down comes Underground C off that polluted delta, so Sam Stoddard right back where he started at 20.
Yeah, and I mean, he can brainstorm here.
Oh, he does have the reanimate. Here comes Jitaxis.
So,
and normally, like, maybe if Marsh had another answer to a target here, that it might change things up. He could deal with the target, and Sam would be out of cards. But now Sam's going to draw 7 new cards. Marsh has a 1-turn window, and if he doesn't have the swords, he has to discard his entire hand. Jeez.
wow.
Wow. This deck is...
I mean, he needed to draw that land, and this hand has obviously been a ridiculous hand for Sam.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously a very good hand for Reanimator. The problem with Reanimator post-Mystical Tutor banning is it's just a consistency issue. Like, you don't always have what you're looking for. You can't use Mystical Tutor. Look at all those cards you just draw. It's on loop.
It's comical how many cards
I feel like
he's
I'm watching
drawing
like a JPEG online of Sam Stoddard just drawing a card over and over and over. There's more cards where that came from. All right, so and now you get to discard. You discard the Elish Norn. This, as Rashad says on the sidelines, this is getting out of hand. So Marsh plays a Dryad Arbor, can't even tap for mana this turn. And Marsh has to have an answer for that.
Yeah, he's going to take a gander through this graveyard here now.
Like, this is
Marsh cannot be too happy with the board state right now.
This is the board position. Jitaxis. It's like Go Fish, right? You're like, I got this. What do you have?
I mean, I guarantee what you have is not a Jitaxis.
Seems unlikely. Ginger Taxis, green-white.
Oh man, Marsh cannot be happy right
No.
now.
All right. Well, I mean, think about what he can do. I mean, once again, maybe he has a swords, which would be the best possible situation for Marsh. But even if he does, Sam still...
Yeah, Sam drew 7 cards.
Drew 7 cards. It probably has whatever he wants. And then if he can reanimate
It also
that,
does
that
not look
Elish
like
Norn-
Marsh has a swords.
No, I think we would have seen that swords earlier. Because, I mean, he knows he can't let that guy stay in play. He's
Yeah.
a big beater on top of everything else. Let's see. Let me look up what its exact stats are. I know it's gigantic.
He's a 5/4. Jin Kataxis, 5/4 flash. You draw 7 on your end
5/4.
step.
So yeah.
And their maximum hand size is reduced by 7.
Yep. So you serve in. There's a big monster. On turn, with 1 land to play. All right, so there's Tarmogoyf. And, a daze from Sam Stoddard. You cannot pay with that Dryad Arbor. And Tarmogoyf might have been able to take down that Ginger Taxis in combat, but that daze will ensure that doesn't happen. And this is the board position. Rashad Token and Ginger Taxis versus Noble Hierarch. Looks like Savannah and Dryad Arbor.
Yep.
And Marsh discards his hand.
Marsh there, the reason he was tanking so long, it's not like he was slow playing. He was actually deciding whether or not he wanted to concede and not show his opponent cards in his deck. But he probably figured, well, my opponent's playing Reanimator. He doesn't care at all if I'm playing Stoneforge Mystic in my deck. I can just pitch this hand.
Yeah, I mean, there's also maybe a sequence where, like, Sam drew nothing and he draws a swords or something. I mean, Ginger Taxis is also a forced draw, so if you can find a way to leave it in play long enough, you can try and deck your opponent.
Yep.
But now Sam just has all the tools. I think I saw a Force of Will down there. The cards on the bottom are the ones I think Sam's going to save and then discard the rest. And I saw him put down a Force of Will, so he has
the
that
more he
option.
discards, though, the more information Marsh has. So
Right. He knows exactly what's going on. He has more an idea of how many mental missteps he has. Sam also has 2 show and tells in his deck, so he can also just show and tell in a Ginger Taxis, which is pretty insane. Looks like his hand
a
is
pair of show and tell, huh?
yeah,
That's
show
awesome.
and tell. So he's got.
Hopefully his opponent doesn't put a Battle of Wits in play.
I mean, we've seen Reanimator decks in the past that have show and tell, but I mean, Reanimator basically disappeared for the most part after Mystical Tutor was banned. I think it made like top 16 of 1-Star City Open. That was it. But Sam Stoddard is confident in his deck choice.
Yeah, so Marsh has 1 turn of chump blocking.
All right, so he attacks with Dryad Arbor for 2.
Yep.
Drops Sam down to 8, and Sam did have to take 10 for that reanimate on Ginger Taxis. So he is sitting at only 10. That takes him down to 8 life.
Yeah, the life totals are actually the same right now, despite how one-sided this game is. Blocks Jin, get a Taxis, goes down to 5 here, and to see what Sam has. I mean, Sam has Force in his hand, right? So
Yeah,
it's
Sam
completely wrapped.
Sam, it looks like Sam has Mental Misstep, Exhume, Force, Daze maybe. Sam has now drawn 21 cards off that Ginger Taxis. 3 turns, right? Yeah, 21 cards. Insane.
Wow, I want to play with Jin Taxis.
Yeah, just in anything now. I mean, I remember Patrick Chapin was talking about how when you could connect with the Sword of Feast and Famine on 5 lands, float 5, and drop that guy out there. Because he has Flash, right?
He does have Flash, yeah.
So you're like, swing in, float 5 mana, untap 5 lands, pay 5, flash him down. Or I guess you could just, do it the
when you're
way.
connecting with Feast of Famine, you're probably winning, though.
That's true. Let's see. All right, Marsh sitting on Dryad Arbor, Savannah. Draws another Savannah.
Those are some pretty beta Savannahs he has.
I mean, they're nice looking. Oh, there's an Unhinged Swamp from Sam. All right, serves it in. Marsh is like, well, I have to block. Sam's going to be forced to draw 7 more cards, but I don't think he's in danger of decking. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think he has. I think he can draw 7 cards again and be okay.
Yeah.
He'll have
And he
drawn
can draw 7 cards
at that point.
twice more before the 3rd time now would kill him.
See.
So it doesn't seem... there's not a card in Marsh's deck that can help him here.
Yeah, he already used his Dryad Arbor, which is the only uncounterable way he has.
Yeah, and I mean, at this point, what Marsh is doing is Marsh realizes that Sam's just drawing in huge amounts of cards and is going to have to discard every turn. So Marsh just wants to see what goes in his graveyard every turn.
Right. I mean, he just wants the information.
Yeah.
All right. I think they're conceding. Yeah. I saw Sam's life total just got reset to 20, so I assume they're packing it in. Yep. They are shuffling. They're going to do their game. Sam Stoddard. Looks like a man who just cast Ginger Taxis and drew 21 cards with it.
That seems really good.
It does. Your opponents discard their hand on turn 2, turn 3. So first Sam reanimates Trastodon, doesn't really work out the way he wants. Then he reanimates Ginger Taxis. Marsh even had the best opening he could have really there with Caracas on the first turn. And Sam was still able to defeat that. Maybe this Reanimator deck is for real.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like it is. Ginger Taxis seems like it's got to be a better reanimate target than anything else that's out there. It locks up a game so quickly. And if you're playing cards like Force of Will, Mental Misstep, and Daze in your deck, the draw 7 ability essentially like protects it. So.
Wow. And then after sideboarding, like
not only does like draw 7 protect it, but draw 7 ensures that you're going to draw another way to put it back into play.
Right, just in case something happens.
If something does happen.
And what are the best ways to kill creatures in this format?
Swords to Plowshares.
So if you have to reanimate twice, like, all right, I gained 10 life, yeah. You know? Like, I mean, it gets exiled, but you're drawing so many cards, you definitely drew another target in there somewhere that's going to go to your graveyard. So, out of the sideboard, looking at Sam's list, Submerge is a card that's definitely coming in this matchup. Like, I can't imagine.
Yeah, I mean, Submerge is just the nuts against any green-based aggro deck. Lou Laskin is somebody who lives in constant fear of Submerge. He's always playing Green Sun Zenith style decks, and he always laments that if Submerge wasn't a card, he would just top 8 every single tournament.
Yeah, that card, especially with fetch lands in the format, it's a big problem for a lot of decks. And then, okay, so let's see. Do you think you're bringing either of his one-of targets, Platinum Empyrean or It That Betrays here?
Yeah, I think you bring It That Betrays. I don't think you need the Iona.
Yeah. I mean, you guess you can get Iona named White, but I mean,
it does like
most of the time. Your other cards are probably going to be better, right?
But yeah, I mean, Marsh does have access to Caracas and things like that. You're probably not going to get a Legend unless you've already dealt with the Caracas, and if you've already dealt with stuff, then you probably just want to be putting Ginger Taxis in play.
Let's see. Then we have Thoughtseize, Perish, Nature's Ruin, Nullrod. Perish probably coming in here.
Oh, Perish is certainly coming in also.
Do you like Thoughtseize at all in this matchup?
No. I don't think he's going to be bringing in Thoughtseize at all.
And then looking at Marsh's list, we have let's see, Ethersworn Canonist, probably not very good. Forge Tender, no. Feast and Famine, no. Batterskull Mortar Pod, probably not. Pride Mage.
I don't think so.
Maybe if you want to kill Sphinx of Steelwind. He already has 3 main deck. Kataki, no. Choke. Choke could maybe be okay.
Maybe. I don't think he brings it in though. I don't think Marsh gets the sideboard even. Maybe he brings in a Batterskull, just as like a guy to search up with his mystics.
Batterskull, but I mean, what does Batterskull even do in this matchup? Like,
it's just a 4/4.
It's
so
a
you drop it
4/4.
to play with your.
I guess you just want a big guy.
Yeah.
I mean,
4/4s aren't bad, especially if your opponent's on Ginger Taxis playing.
His other targets are Jite, Sword of Fire, Sword of War and Peace. I can see situations where, like, yeah, just having a 4/4 is nice.
Yeah, like I'd certainly want it over like Jite in this matchup.
Huh. Well, we'll see how things play out. I think Sam has advantage in the first game, and the addition of Submerge isn't going to help Marsh out at all.
Yeah, I don't even think Marsh has like anything in his sideboard here. I think Sam post board it's going to be even more in Sam's favor, and given Sam's hand in game 1 was
it was the
like best hand he could have had.
Yeah. Turn
The
one.
only way it
careful.
would have been better was if he had mental misstep. But
Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much the nut draw, right? Turn 1, careful study. Turn 2, Entomb, reanimate. Turn 3, reanimate. Like, I don't know what more you could possibly want.
yeah, that's about as good as it gets.
Yeah. That is absurd, though, by Sam Stoddard. Very,
And he also had to draw the land when there were only 16 of them left in his deck on that turn.
Right. Yeah, I mean, he did have to find the land to make it happen, but he found it, and...
Yeah. And I mean, if he does not draw that land for, say, like 3 turns,
right, then...
Marsh probably wins that game.
Yeah, Marsh can get right back in that game. So, I mean, we think Sam has the advantage. What do you think it would take for Marsh to win this game? Like, what do you think, what's Marsh looking for in its opening 7 here?
It's not so much what's in Marsh's hand as what's not in Sam's hand.
Sure.
I think Marsh is really hoping that Sam stumbles a lot. Sam has horrible mulligan issues, mana
Yeah, he's
problems.
like, mulligan,
Yeah,
come on, mulligan.
These are the ways that Marsh is going to win this match. I guess Marsh wants like a Noble Hierarch or Green Sun Zenith into a Knight of the Reliquary. That would be fine. A Caracas in his opening hand would be fine. Swords are fine.
Yeah, the Crocs in the opening hand definitely helped out. So here we are, Marsh is on the play. Turn one Noble Hierarch from Marsh. Sam does not have the misstep. Leads with a Underground Sea and just passes the turn.
Passes the turn, so he's probably going to Entomb on his opponent's end step.
Yep, he shuffles it to the front of his hand. I think he's sitting on a force.
I don't know if I like that. I think I would just like either Entomb during my opponent's upkeep, or I would Entomb on my own turn. Giving them another chance to draw Mental Misstep does not seem like the greatest thing.
And there's no reason why you should think his opponent isn't playing Bant or something that plays counter magic too, because all he saw was Savannah, and
yeah.
I guess we don't know what Marsh discarded, like all the cards he discarded. He saw Stoneforge Mystic. Maybe he saw something in there that keyed him in, but regardless, Marsh does have Misstep. There's some other ruins. All right, and here's Entomb from Sam Stoddard. It's also possible that he's fine with Marsh stepping the Entomb. Maybe he has Reanimate in his hand or something.
Yeah, or he may just have Force in his hand.
Yeah, I mean he has Force, but I mean
Yeah,
I see a Careful Study in Sam's hand too, so I think the Entomb might have almost been bait for the Mental Misstep.
Okay.
Once it's kind of he even has the Mental Misstep in his hand right now. I'm pretty sure it's kind of the leveling thing of like, well, I'll play this at the time when it's worse for me to theoretically play this card, but I want you to counter it, so I'll play it in this time. Hopefully you counter it, and then Marsh has to realize, well, why is he playing it at this time? That doesn't make any sense. He must be trying to make me counter it, and all these shenanigans ensue. All right, so Sam is brainstorming. Looks like he's going to put Daze and Force of Will back on top of his library.
Interesting.
Especially if he's trying to crack that polluted delta.
Probably cracking a delta, right?
Yeah.
Surprising.
Oh, Sam's like, I don't want to lose that Force of Will, but puts the Daze back down rather fast. Brainstorm is one of the most complex things you can do in the format. Games are won and lost all the time on how you brainstorm. You do not want to make a mistake.
Sure, I eliminated myself from the Legacy event last week by misbrainstorming. And it's a hard thing to do. To brainstorm correctly?
Yeah. I mean, some people are like, well, you just put your 2 worst cards back, but I mean, that's not always the case. Sometimes you want to prepare for hand disruption. You have to think what the game's going to be like in a couple
yeah,
turns.
Yeah, cards like Thoughtseize stuff, then you're going to want to save that brainstorm so that when they him you, you can hide the 2 cards you need, things like that.
Are you going to have to like discard your cards, like you said, like all these different things, or if you counterbalance, it gets even more complicated. So Sam goes for a Careful Study here. We'll see if Marsh has a Mental Misstep for it.
When you have counterbalance and play Brainstorm is like a 1-mana cantripping counterspell that fixes your that fixes the top of your deck. It's pretty fair.
Yeah, it's insane. So Marsh Mental Missteps the Careful Study, but Sam has the Misstep back.
Okay.
And then Careful Study resolves. Probably gonna see some big guys discarded here. Discards Eleshnorn and Jinja Taxis, I'm pretty sure.
All right.
So I see the Animate Dead in Sam Stoddard's hand. That'd be a good reason to bring the Pride Mage, I guess, is Animate Dead. I see the Animate Dead in Sam Stoddard's hand. I think I saw maybe an Exhume in there too. So.
So Marsh probably just going to bash with this Mother of Runes here first before he does anything else. Put Sam down to 15. Oh, okay. He lands a Tarmogoyf. Sam has Forceful in his hand.
Marsh is playing fair, but this is not a matchup dictated by fair play.
Yeah.
Oh, there's Exum.
Yeah.
And I think you probably just get Elish Norn here? Or do you want to get Ginger Taxis?
I think you get Elish Norn, because if he has the swords, he's going to kill the Ginger Taxis before he runs up anyway. Or no, he has Force backup. And his opponent only has one open, so I guess he just gets Ginger Taxis.
Yeah. If Elish Norn would kill the Tarmogoyf, I might consider it. But if you're not killing the Tarmogoyf, I mean, obviously Elish Norn's very good, but yeah, Ginger Taxis is just going to give you everything you want. And here he comes down. And does Marsh have the swords for Sam? So he has the swords. Sam has the force removing force. And Sam's about to draw 7 cards. And once again, I think we're going to see samstoddard.jpg of him drawing 7 cards. Somebody already out there on Twitter, I'm sure, has already created a JPEG of this happening. I might just watch this for hours.
Draw, 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 draw. Doesn't really seem reasonable. I'm not okay with it.
It's pretty insane. And then the most insane part is you draw 7 cards, and then you just, I mean, it's not the most insane part, obviously, drawing 7 cards is the most insane part, but like the added bonus on top of it all is like, then I get to discard cards so I can fuel my graveyard even further.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, obviously, like, you play the card because it's like, well, I discard, I draw 7 cards, they discard 7 cards, but putting more fatties into your graveyard, it can be very relevant. All right, Marsh peels top of his deck, looking for something, not quite sure what at this point. All right, there's a Horizon Canopy. Probably not what he was looking for.
Probably not. Goyf can get in the red zone, right? There's sorcery, instant, land, creature.
I think it's big enough, yeah.
Yeah, so plus Exalted Trigger. Yeah, so I guess it's 5. That'll put Sam down to 11, I believe. Now I wonder what do you know what the last card in his hand is?
Marsh's hand? I do not know what Marsh's last card is. We'll find out soon enough. Either he's going to pack it up and we'll see it, or it'll be something useful. He's been looking at it for a while. I don't know. All right, taps a green. Draws a card with the Horizon Canopy.
Okay. Just going to tap the mana.
And he has the swords for the Ginger Taxis. Pretty good one to
bad.
find if he drew off that Horizon Canopy. So Sam loses the Ginger Taxis, but he does gain his life in the process.
Yeah, and this turn he's going to reanimate Elish Norn.
And yeah, you get that Elish Norn back.
Yeah, the draw 7 ability on Ginger Taxis is so insane because even if they find a way to deal with it,
or he has just another Ginger Taxis in his graveyard to go get. That he discarded. Once again, he discarded it last turn. Like, unbelievable. Yeah, I mean, like Sam Stoddard, when I was talking to him yesterday, he's like, I played this deck a lot. I didn't think it was that good, but when New Phyrexia came out, we had a Ginger Taxis. The deck got way better. And we've seen in both games now the draw 7 ability just run away with the game because it just lets them refuel.
Yeah, it lets them crush people. It's really insane.
And now, yeah, then you craft your hand to have Disruption, more reanimation spells, and that 4/4 Ginger Taxis staring down Marsh here. And if Marsh can't deal with it, we'll easily see an Elish Norn coming out next turn.
Now,
wow. So, Marsh looks at Sam's graveyard, sees a show and tell. Sam discarded.
Huh. So Marsh sees show and tell.
So he's like, curious. Well, that's good to know about. Crazy.
Yeah.
Man,
And Marsh can definitely win this game, though. Like, it's possible.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, if he had a way to deal with the Ginger Taxis or just maybe a good enough clock. But Elishnorn's going to reduce his opportunities of the clock.
What is that?
Another Tarmogoyf. All right, that's a good one to have. It gets around Elishnorn. Well, in the sense that it won't die, but not in the sense that it can really attack profitably through it. This is a far cry from the Magic we were watching 3 hours ago in Standard. This is, you can tell we're in a whole different world now.
Yeah, we're in a world where people are drawing 7 cards and making their opponent discard their hand. And
is that a Null Rod?
It is a Null Rod.
Hand? Interesting. Oh, Perish. Goodbye, Tarmogoyfs and Noble Hierarch. Wow, that takes care of that problem. Now that Ginger Taxis is free to serve in.
Yep.
Huh. And back comes Elishnorn with the Reanimate. So Sam Stoddard has double Praetor versus his opponent's nothing. And serves in for 6 with Ginger Taxis.
7.
-1 for Animate Dead.
Okay.
The good old Animate Dead with the old -1 power.
Such a drawback. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, it makes the card fair, right? You -1 power. And Sam forces the Tarmogoyf out the top for Marsh. All right, and that's game. Sam, I want to get Sam in here. I want to hear him talk about this deck. I talked about him yesterday, and this is some exciting stuff.
I mean, the deck seems insane.
Wow.
The tax is so good.
It's